back to the Triple C and Schmo show. I'm the Schmo. My partner's got an Olympic gold medal. The champ making the comeback. Triple C, Henry Cejudo.
What's up, Schmo? How we doing? But let's get this bar rolling because time is money and money is time.
Back on the couch of cringe. It's the night of all nights, shall we say. Anderson Silva boxing Jake Paul. It all goes down here in Phoenix, Arizona, Triple C. But before we get into all that, you and Aljamain Sterling, man. Is this going to happen down under Perth next year, beginning 2023? You going to come back and fight for the Bantamweight strap?
Yeah, that's what the UFC wants. That's what Dana wants. That's what Ali has told me, that that's the direction that the UFC is going. But there's only one problem, and his name is Alja Shit Lame. And I know, like, when you know somebody respects you, Aljamain just doesn't want to fight me because he respects me, and there's a little bit of fear in there. He doesn't want to duck. He's literally ducking me. He's literally running from me. And but but there's gonna be other options if that Aljamain fight doesn't take place. But I'd love to have that fight. I'm ready for 2023, Perth, Australia. Aljamain Sterling, stop running, dude. Put that Hennessy down and let's get this ball rolling, dude. February 12th, that bout will be mine once again.
So if he doesn't fight you, you just mentioned other plans. What would those other plans be, Triple C?
I think those are yet to be announced, Schmo. But who knows, man? Maybe an interim. What do you think?
An interim with Sugar Sean O'Malley, Triple C?
Ding, 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 ding. I think we exit out Aljamain because he's talking about taking a break in mid-June or something like that. Next time he wants to fight, like you beat a dude that was handicapped. Talk about hate crime on a handicap guy. He beat a damn gimp. But I think if the UFC and Sean, they want to do it, why don't we do an interim? Nobody believes that Sean beat Petr Yan. I think that would be the best thing for the division to move along and not wait for some sorry ass dude that just wants to travel on the UFC's dime.
So you'd be willing to fight for an interim belt in the return fight?
Yeah. But the only reason why, Schmo, is because Alja Shitstain doesn't want to. He doesn't want to fight me. He'll fight Sean. He'll fight Cheeto. But the last person he wants to fight, the Kryptonite, and his name is Triple C.
But what about the timeline, though? So he doesn't want to return till June. Does he have an injury? Does he need surgery? What do you think's the holdup for why he wants to take the amount of time that he wants to take before he returns into the octagon?
You know what, Schmo? I would have saw it if he would have really beat TJ, like him healthy or whatever that may be. But, you beat a dude literally with one arm. I mean, get back into camp. Get back into shape. Yeah, take your month off. But the division wants to get going. I mean, you've fought only 3 times in the last 2 years. It's unfair for the division. At least when I had the belt, I fought 3 times. I fought Demetrius Johnson, TJ Dillashaw, Marlon Moraes for my second belt, all in 10 months. All in 10 months, Schmo. You talking about an active champion. The active champion is here, and this is exactly what the UFC needs.
So the Schmo's thoughts are this. We'd obviously love to see you in Perth against Aljamain Sterling, and then as a number 1 contender fight, make it 5 rounds, the rematch, Marlon Chito Vera against Sugar Sean O'Malley. But if we can't get you against Aljamain Sterling, it's fitting that you fight either Chito or Sean O'Malley for an interim belt. Between those two, though,
I'll take either one of those dirt bags. The only thing that I know is I'm on a mission to get my gold back, and if they both want it, they can both get it. They both know. All these guys, 135 pounds, they know who the king is. They can all get it.
So who do you think would be skill-wise is the number 1 contender in the division that's not named Triple C Henry Cejudo, who doesn't hold the strap in the bantamweight division? Who would you say is the clear-cut number 1 guy right now? Is it Sugar Sean O'Malley? Is it Marlon Chito Vera? Is it Merab Dvalishvili? Is it someone else? Is it Sandhagen?
No, it's still Petr Yan. Okay. It's still Petr Yan, but those 3 consecutive losses, that doesn't look good for him. You know what I mean? Like, I personally, I thought he beat Aljamain Sterling, and then second, I thought he everybody, not just me, everybody, the whole world saw Sean lose, and it's unfortunate the way things kind of went out or kind of happened. But it's still Peter Yan. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, man, they don't want to do another fight with Aljamain or whatever. And plus, somehow Sean O'Malley got the victory. So this is why I'm saying, like, even Sean doesn't believe it. This is why he's not searching for the fight. Nor do I think the UFC wants to give it to him, because I think Aljamain is a bad matchup for him. But Triple C's here. If you want to do it, Sean, let's sign that contract. Just put on a show and take that L.
You also want to be in that same card as Alexander Volkanovski. You want to be down under, sizing up potentially a future opponent in the 145-pound weight division. Is the goal still the same, Triple C? You want to come back, you want the bantamweight strap, and you want to go up and contend for the 145-pound strap.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let you guys all know on my goal. First of all, I'm gonna win my belt, 135 pounds. I'm gonna defend it, and then I'm gonna go up. And then I do want to go up, and I do want to challenge Volkanovski. I personally think I should have shortcutted the line, because Alexander's been through everybody, and I think it would be more appeasing for me and Alexander Volkanovski to fight than for him to take a monster like Islam, where he's gonna get ground and pound to death. But whatever, dude. I wanted to get Volkanovski when he was pound for pound, but that's not the case. So I have to game plan, and you don't always get what you want, but I can always cut it and slice it and dice it, and eventually find that avenue whenever it is that I'm going to get what I want.
Let's move on to what's going down tonight. Anderson Silva, Jake Paul, they're boxing. You're going to be there. The Schmo's going to be there. Sugar Sean O'Malley's going to be there, too. We're going to get extra security between the two of you guys, though. But who wins this boxing match, Triple C? How do we break this one down?
If Anderson Silva doesn't showboat, I got Anderson beating him. But there's that one shot that Jake Paul can catch him with. And it's a stupid-ass right hand that I don't know why people don't see it coming. But whatever, dude. I actually like Jake Paul. I really do. For what he's doing and what he's talking about for MMA, and picking on our boss. I mean, that stuff's things like that. Those are good things, and I can tell I can tell what he's trying to do and he's trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan officially of Jake Paul. There you go. I said it, guys.
He's a disruptive guy. So the Schmo thinks his path to victory is knocking him out with that overhand right. If this thing goes to the scorecards, Anderson the Spider Silva. In fact, the later this thing goes, the more the Schmo would favor Anderson the Spider Silva. He's got that combat experience, and the Schmo got the last interview with him last night. He was in absolute killer war mode. Yes, he did the little spider face-off with Jake Paul.
He did though.
Yes, he did. Absolutely. But Anderson the Spider Silva, he's ready. He's game time, man. He's not taking this thing lightly. And this thing goes, let's say, to the 5th round and later. The Schmo likes Anderson the Spider Silva. But Jake Paul can win this thing early, and he can win it by knockout.
You think Jake Paul?
I think his path to victory is a knockout. The Schmo doesn't see Anderson Silva knocking out Jake Paul, but we see Jake Paul knocking out Anderson Silva. We can see that happening.
You could be right. But this is why us fighters are not allowed to bet no more. But if I had to put my money, I got to go with the more experienced fighter, and that's Anderson Silva.
I believe he's like plus 250 money at this point, too. So if you want to bet.
So he's the underdog.
He's the dog.
Holy shit. Man, people really believe in Jake Paul, and that says a lot, man. I tell you what, that kid has come a long way, Schmo, and I can appreciate that.
So win or lose, where does Jake Paul go from here? Because it's kind of a lose-lose situation. You win, you beat a 47-year-old retired MMA fighter, yes, a legend, but you lose, you just lost to this 47-year-old man. So it's kind of like a lose-lose, but if you're Jake Paul, where do you take this thing beyond this fight?
No, he loses to Anderson Silva. I think he just does a KSI and tries to get revenge for his brother. And that's the way you do it. And then you just keep him in that world of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't be a 47-year-old, then maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you're not as good as you think you are. But if you do, Nate Diaz is your next fight.
We like it. Speaking of next fight, Jon Jones, he's been out here and fight ready. The Schmo knows you two chit-chat. He wanted to be on this UFC 282 card, fighting Stipe Miocic for the interim heavyweight championship belt. But looking like that's not happening, Triple C.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, the cat's out the bag. You know, I spoke to John a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. He called me, and he wants to. He really wants that December 10th card. He really does, man. He's anxious to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like John needed these breaks, and he's anxious to fight. He wants December 10th, but if that doesn't happen, I don't know what the plan is moving forward. But John is more than ready. I think all you heavyweights, you guys are all in trouble.
Well, here's the thing. Mid-December, Francis Ngannou, he's out of his contract. He would be officially free agent. So if he left the UFC promotion...
When is it?
The end of this year. December, he's out. Contract's over. I don't think he's going to be medically cleared to fight in 2022. So does that mean if he does not rejoin with the UFC, there's just this vacant heavyweight strap? And then, look, we already got January. We got that in Brazil. We got February. We got Perth. You think they're going to have Jon Jones return to a pay-per-view card outside of the United States in his first one back? Probably not. So would we not see Jon Jones till maybe late March or April then if we don't see him in December?
I think Francis Ngannou's probably going to take heavyweight money in boxing. I think that's his plan. I mean, you're talking about a $30 million payday in comparison to whatever he was getting paid in MMA. So I think he's going to go that route first, and then after that, maybe go up against a John and come back to the UFC.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So we know Jon Jones wants to fight. What's going on with Stipe Miocic? We haven't heard from him. What's holding things up on his end of the bargain?
I don't know, man. Stipe's got a kid now. I know being a father, like
2.
Yeah, he's got 2 kids. I mean, he loves what he does. He's still a firefighter.
Yes, I believe it's full-time, not part-time.
Yeah, things like that, like especially if you're going to fight against a guy like Jon Jones, man, you better be full-time fighting because Jon Jones takes no prisoners. And John's got that chip on his shoulder. And the speed that he's accumulating for heavyweight is absolutely ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous, Schmo.
So let the Schmo throw in a monkey wrench here, because if we don't get Stipe, we don't know what's going on. Plus, Stipe, I believe he's over 40 now. By the way, he's up there on age. You got Francis Ngannou, a little bit of a question mark there. Ciryl Gane recovering from injury. Maybe Jon Jones is fighting Ciryl Gane for an interim or just the official heavyweight strap. What do you say, Triple C? The Schmo could see that.
Yeah, that's another one. I think Gane is better than Stipe for Jon stylistically. His agility on his feet. He's gonna try to move around with Jon. I mean, I think Jon beats either one of them. But if there's a guy that'd be like, hey man, we got to really prepare for it. It'd be more of Gane.
Have you guys had those conversations, gone over that game film?
No, not really. I think Jon is doing his thing, man. I try not to bother him. I think, we try not to bother each other, but, respect each other every once in a while. Maybe throw a message. We can play phone tag. But even with Demetrius, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're from afar, but we're like, watching over, just legends should always take care of legends in that sense. I always believe that. And a wrestler's always told me, I was like, hey man, as a legend, you always got to make sure that you take care of your own, dude, because it's a mound that people don't really know and recognize, only the legends. So that being said, I think, what was the question, Schmo? I completely lost my train of thought.
Preparing for a Ciryl Gane, you and Jon Jones, you guys held the conversation?
No, not yet. But Jon at this point, man, he'll take all comers. He really will. He wants to be compensated, but I don't even think that's an issue with Jon no more.
I don't think so either. He's ready to fight.
Jon just wants to fight. He misses the sport, and when a lion hasn't ate in a very, very long time, the next time he eats, he's gonna go out there. He's gonna devour.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not devouring their own kids, because there's some cannibalism in the Wild Kingdom.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. The Schmo's been watching Nature is Met a little too much here, man. We love the animal stuff.
That's like some Mike Tyson shit, man.
Yeah, I know. By the way, you brought up DJ. You saw him on the Schmo Rogan podcast, giving you all the credit in the world. Talking about Fight Ready and Aero Force One, the science, training out here. Some mad props, Triple C.
Yeah, no, of course, man. I appreciate it, man, because it means a lot, man. First of all, I think Demetrius Johnson is, if you're to really, for the, the guy that has never been in trouble with any type of substance or accused or anything like that, if you really strip all that down, if you want to kind of come down to who's done it like more, I guess, authentically without being accused or anything, it's probably Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, if you get rid of Anderson Silva, Jones, obviously it comes down to him and maybe even GSP, but I put him above GSP with the title defense and the creativity and his fight style. And look at what he did his last fight, from being knocked out to knocking the dude out. The dude is special. The dude is in GOAT Mountain. And I think every athlete in the world really respects a guy like Demetrius Johnson.
Well, the Schmo's Mount Rushmore, if the Schmo hasn't said it already.
Yeah, but can I tell you, though, something, Schmo? Like, even when I won my first belt, like, it wasn't even about the UFC belt, like, as a competitor. And people had asked me, so you guys can go back and look at, it was more about beating Demetrius Johnson. For anybody else and everybody else in the UFC, for me now, it's all about the belt. But for him in particular, because he had a win over me, like, it became a lot more personal. But I've also respected Demetrius Johnson like you wouldn't believe.
He's a gold hunter. So the Schmo's Mount Rushmore, Demetrius Johnson, Jon Jones, Anderson Silva, GSP. What do you think?
That's good. Yeah, I same thing. That's
nice.
The same thing.
You got to do the same thing.
Did you copy mine, dude? I've always, but I have it on. I have number 1 Jones, number 2 Demetrius, number 3 Anderson Silva, number 4 GSP.
Nice. And speaking of nice, you got your USA Wrestling shirt there. Your roommate in the Olympics, Ben Askren, man, funky, came out with a book. He was on the Schmo Zone podcast last week, man.
Yeah, was I in it? Was I in the book?
I don't think he put you in the book, but that was your roommate, man. Your photo. There's a great photo. I did see your photo, though, actually. You were in the book. Your photo, DC, and I believe the wrestling coach, Steve Mako, over at ATT, he was on that team, too. The Schmo saw him in the photo. You were there. He brought up your name.
You know what's crazy, Schmo, is, like, ironically, like, the 2018 was probably one of the worst teams, like, in USA Wrestling history.
2008?
2008. But it's the most recognized Olympic team in the world now, because of Daniel Cormier and myself, Ben Askren, obviously what Steve Mock was doing with the coaching at ATT. And I just want to kind of bring that
He
up.
coaches your favorite fighter, Kayla Harrison.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So he's got a resume full of good people, and you know, wrestling is life, man. That's the reason why we're all here, because of the great sport of wrestling, what it's taught us.
Yes, wrestling is life. Clay Guida would agree with that too, Triple C.
100.
And shout out to Ben Askren for being such a great roommate, never there, and kept you dialed in and focused. That's why you got the gold medal, Triple C.
Yeah, I already had no Ben. I already had no Ben. You know, we were roommates, like literally. I remember that shit clearly. It was me and Ben Askren, but Ben was never there, dude.
He was enjoying the funk, enjoying the scene over there in, was it Beijing?
Beijing, yep.
Beijing 2008 Olympics. All right, Triple C. This is a nice impromptu episode. What's your name?
I am Triple C.
I know, I just said it. That's why I said, what's your name? And you repeated it. Thank you very much. He's the champion, the Olympic gold medalist. I'm the Schmo. We always deliver, and we are out.